Hello everybody and welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer League. Today we have Furry Me will give an interview if we win versus Talking Heads, Kohrek, and Professor Renderer representing their teams. Race is underway already. We get a very quick map check on Renderer's side. We have two blue crystals at Eastern Palace and Tower of Hera. I missed what was at Desert Palace. Professor Renderer's sprite appears to be Cadence from Crypt of the Necrodancer. It being week 2 of the league, we're doing Ambrosia settings. As you see, they start with a standard escape sequence. They have an assured sword. Uncle gives a hint about the location of the boots. And every boss of the game will have an item, not the compass, keys, or map of the dungeons, which will play a factor in how they strategize doing dungeon dips. And so far, every item has been nothing but cash, it looks like. I believe the uncle said the boots are in the light world, but I missed it real quickly. It was really fast. So far, Kohrek has a slight lead, but there's still about an hour and a half at least of the game left, so anything could happen. Yes, it's an insurmountable lead, indeed, yes. There's a heart container in the boomerang chest. So far, there's been no progression in the escape this far. Okay, finding that small key and having found the map, that guarantees that there's an item of some kind in Dark Cross, as well as the back of Escape, if either of our runners can find bombs on the way there, so they don't have to make a return trip. Fingers crossed they find those bombs, because it can be a time saver. Both runners aren't wasting any time killing soldiers, so it's hard to say if they're even going to try to find bombs. No, Ambrosia settings do nothing to affect the logic. Logic will remain the same regardless. Ah, Kohrek gets a bomb off the snake. Actually, 8 bombs even, so he'll be doing the back of Escape as he passes through. Ah, and boots are in the Dark World. Thank you to our restreamer for checking that for us. Alright, Kohrek doing the back of escape. Checking these 3 chests. We've got bombs, and the Cane of Samaria. And on Professor Renderer's side, he did get a bomb, so he's going to be checking out the back of escape and getting his Cane of Samaria as well. Yes, in Ambrosia, bosses could drop rupees. There's no guarantee the item will be good, it's just that it will not be a key, compass, or map. And another heart piece inside the sanctuary. Got a map check on Kohrek's side. Desert Palace is the 5-6 crystal. So all Light World dungeons have crystals. Boots are somewhere in the Dark World, according to the uncle. Kohrek checking out the Lost Woods. Decides to go ahead and grab that 20 rupee in the mushroom spot. Gets 100 rupees in the thieves' hideout. Professor Renderer giving us a lumberjack check, which Kohrek did not do. Professor Renderer sees a bottle. So, as far as items go, we will not need to see Aga 1. The question is, do we need to see Aga 1 for Dark World access? And hopefully the answer is no. In Blind's Den, we have bombs, rupees, arrows, more rupees. This is not a nice thieves' den here. And a heart piece. No progression. Bad start for Krekruga Village. Let's see if the bottom of the well picks up the pace. Ooh, we got Bombos medallion. That's nice. Might be required for the 2 dungeons. 10 arrows in the back. Bombs. For 300 rupees. And 20 rupees. Okay, so the only thing of note would be the Bombos medallion, which helps give us access to Ice Palace, and might be required for either Misery Mire or Total Rock. The Bottle Merchant gives us the flute. Very inconvenient location. Professor Renderer doing his bomb in the well to get the Bombos medallion and nothing else. $50 rupees in the chicken hut. Professor Renderer getting his flute. Back of the tavern gives us a piece of heart. Yes, the game is giving us rupees for a reason, but the Zora is not in logic yet. We don't have the flippers or the glove. Looks like a piece of heart on the library shelf. Kohrek doing the racing game without checking what the item is first. Saves him. This could save him a bit of time if it was a good item. Could also be a waste of time if it's not a good item. And it is... Ether Medallion! So we already have 2 of the medallions. That gives Kohrek a 67% chance of having the medallions he needs for Mire and Turtle Rock. Kohrek using the flute to go straight to the swamp area to check the dam. Professor Enderer about to do the racing game to get his Ether Medallion. $20 rupees underwater. And another piece of heart inside the dam. Now, for Mini Moldorm Cave on Kohrek's side, he just pulls out Ether, not dealing with this. Got 20 rupees, 5 rupees, a piece of heart, 20 rupees, and a green rupee. Wow, the beginning of this seed. Kohrek not gonna check Ice Rod Cave. He's just instead going or yes he is. Never mind. Using the flute to skip a screen transition. And Ice Rod Cave give us a heart container. Professor Enderer about to get all the money the mini Moldorms are hiding. And Kohrek is checking Agina, figure out what the item is here. It looked like it was just 10 rupees on the desert ledge, so that's not a concern. Or 10 arrows. And it's just a piece of heart in Agina's cave. At this point, the runners they can go up Death Mountain to check Spectacle Rock, but really, inside Spectacle Rock is the only thing in logic, though with runners of this caliber, yeah, we can do the old man in the dark, as Kohrek is doing right now. That'll give him both an item and the save and quit location, which would be nice. And then after Death Mountain, depending on what they find, Eastern Palace and Sarasala's Closet are the next plays. Ah, and we see some divergence. Professor Enderer is going to the east, while Kohrek is doing the Death Mountain. And the old man gives us, if the dead rocks will get past, the blue mail. Which is nice. Ouch. The cabbages are giving Kohrek a hard time. Careful! And ouch. Green pendant is in Palace of Darkness. Magic cape is Rustler's Closet, 50 rupees and 20 rupees. Magic cape is a nice convenient item, but not necessarily... Oh, but could be giving us AGA 1 access. Oof. If they find a lamp, that's... Oh, interesting. Kohrek is going into Spectacle Rock without checking the item first. While Professor Renderer goes into Eastern Palace. Now, thanks to Ambrosia, there is definitely an item locked. Oh, there's the lamp in Spectacle Rock. Uh-oh. So we know AGA 1 access now. Yikes. Okay. Professor Renderer is in Eastern Palace. There are 3 items in Eastern. One of them is locked on Armos, but there's the bow. So... So the thing I was going to say about one item being locked is no longer quite valid. Kohrek going into the eastern area. He's about to get his magic cape and not have the good news. Here's the thing about AGA 1 though. They don't have the Moon Pearl. So there isn't much they could even do in Dark World if they do AGA 1 right now. Alright, Kohrek gets his magic cape, which puts AGA 1 fully in logic for him. Yes, the Moon Pearl could be on Pyramid Ledge. It would be a very trolly spot for the Moon Pearl, but it could be there. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Professor Renderer has to go to the far right side of Eastern Palace to get the big key from its vanilla location. He's going to have to do this in the dark, though, because he did not go up Spectacle Rock to get the lamp. Whereas Kohrek, on the other hand, does have the lantern, which has been tracked, but the tracker program is being obstinate right now, so it's not lighting up. There it is. Boots on Pyramid, sick kid with Moon Pearl. Oof. Yes, Bo was in... Yeah, Kohrek's about to get it right now. No, that's the map. Okay, no, sorry. The first chest of Eastern Palace was the bow. Second chest was the map. Third chest was the compass. Fourth chest that Professor Renderer just got was the big key. Professor Renderer going down to get some fairies. Kohrek using arrow strats on the Stalfos. And now Professor Renderer is going into the dark room to get... Ooh, nice. Kills off the little squiggly things. Ooh, looks like he got the... And he got the key! Dude, you got the key. You don't need to do that. And up the stairs he goes. Trying to find the stairs. Yeah. Oh, that. Gotta love those enemies. Professor Renderer leaving to go get another fairy because he's about to die. Kohrek gets his big key. Professor Renderer trying again to get through this room. He unlocked the door, he just needs to find those stairs. Without the Igor blocking him. And Big Chest had a piece of heart. So, one item left in Eastern Palace on the boss, guaranteed, because it's Ambrosia. The question is, what item is it? Though at this point, it's not much that's going to give him Dark Road access outside of Aga 1, unless it's the flippers. And there Professor Renderer goes up the stairs, into the light. Kohrek had the lamp, so that room was way easier with a light source. And now we're almost in sync. Lamp and Mel upgrade were both on Death Mountain, which Professor Renderer has not done yet. Oof, Professor Renderer having some trouble with this Igor. Needs to be careful with his arrows. And Kohrek gets the first crystal of the game at 21 minutes and 55 seconds. And yes, if I'm understanding the logic correctly so far, there's nothing left but Aga 1. And both racers finishing up Eastern Palace. Kohrek going straight to Aga 1 now. While Professor Renderer is probably going up the mountain first. Yes, he is. Kohrek using that cape to get past the barrier. And now it's time to take on Aghanim's Tower. Uses bombos to fry the ball and chain guards. Professor Renderer gets his blue mail. Kohrek having some trouble with that guard, but makes it through. While Professor Renderer gets the bad news with the lamp. Ooh, Professor Renderer pulls off the bomb jump right there in Spectacle Rock. Very nice. That bomb jump is a bit more finicky than other bomb jumps because it requires you to go further into the wall right there with the gap than is normal. So without the Moon Pearl, Aga 1 is only going to give us access to the Pyramid Ledge. which at this point could be the Moon Pearl, but it could also be a number of other things. If it's the Moon Pearl, it only opens up Pod, and it's not even a full clear of Pod, so this seed is being very stingy right now. It's time to fight the wizard. I go 1. And there's the first blue ball of the fight. Hopefully there's not multiples of them. Okay, that's nice so far. At this... no, you're right. It could be a bottle for Sick Kid. You're right. If Sick Kid has progression. The hook shot at this moment would not open... Well, actually, you're right. It would open Paradox Cave. Wow, there's so many rude possibilities here. And yes, it seems we've had multiple blue balls, so this Aga fight is taking longer than anyone wants it to. It's like Aga 1 knows you don't want to fight him, so he just wants to make it as nasty as possible. And Aga 1 goes down. So now, Kohrek enters the Dark World as a bunny. What is on Pyramid Ledge? Doesn't even look, just goes straight for it. It is the Moon Pearl! Ooh, and Professor Renderer takes a death in Aga's tower, so he has to start over at the beginning for clearing it. Well, Kohrek is off to Pod, which is the only thing in Logic right now, and we can't even full clear it. There are 5 items in Pod, 1 of them is on the boss, so there's only 4 items in the front. But with the bow, we know that we won't be bow locked, so there's that at least. And fingers crossed we find the hammer in there, which will allow us to full clear it. Though, I might have missed, I don't think we saw a map check for Dark World yet on Kohrek's side. But we do know that's a green pendant thanks to Sarasalat. Which is also gross. Apparently a required dip into a pendant dungeon. This seed is just full of it today. There's the gloves! First chest of Pod. And yes, fighting the gloves in the first chest of Pod means that Pod was indeed bow locked, and the gloves do open up Catfish and Zora. Putting those in Logic. According to the uncle, the boots are somewhere in the Dark World. That does not include dungeons, though, so it's an overall Dark World check somewhere. Could be Spike Cave, I think. I'm not sure how it monitors Death Mountain. Dark Death Mountain. Could be Cave 45, could be Catfish, could be Bumper Ledge. Kohrek going for a Death Warp here to get to the beginning of Pod, because he doesn't have a mirror to do it easily. Professor Renderer making his way to Aga 1. No, they're both equal in checks. Professor Renderer had some difficulty getting up the tower, so he is a bit behind. But with 6 crystal dungeons left to do, that could very well change. Well, diving deeper into Pod isn't a bad idea. I mean, you're already kind of... you're already here. It's better to just get as much done as possible, especially in the back, and then dip out. Maybe even find the hammer if your fingers are crossed. And especially since it's a green pendant dungeon, there's a possibility that he wouldn't have to come back if he full clears the front of it. And yes, there's that too, that the glove he's found only opens up 2 potential locations, and we don't know if Zora and Catfish have anything that could open up more stuff. Oh, looks like Kohrek's going for a hammer yump here. And gets it. Finds the compass in the big chest. A shield in one of the dark room chests. Professor Renderer facing off against Aga. So far, Pod has only had the glove, but we still got a few more chests to look at, which I suspect are just going to be keys at this point. Oh, the Master Sword! And Kohrek dips out with that. Master Sword's a nice find. It'll make combat a little bit easier. Let's see where Kohrek goes now. Because right now, all he has open is Catfish and Zora. Yeah, so Kohrek's about to do a fake flipper. This will allow him to do the camper under the bridge, as well as Waterfall Cave, since he has the Moon Pearl now. And do the Zora check as well. Professor Renderer enters the Dark World, gets his Moon Pearl, and he is off to Pod to get his glove, and if he goes back far enough, Master Sword. Camper just had bombs. Kohrek looking for that very special pixel that gets him to the edge of the screen. There it is. And yes, this seed has been very rude. It's fighting tooth and nail for progression. Heart piece on Lake Hylia Island, so no need to worry about that. Kohrek using his Moon Pearl to be able to open the chests of the Waterfall Cave, which is nothing but money. Alright, so let's go see what's on Zora Ledge and King Zora. Zora Ledge is 50 rupees, so no need to do a splash delete today. Or come back with the flippers if you don't know how to do splash delete. Alright, get your guesses in chat. Is Zora a scam? Or is it progression? It's the hook shot! So it's off to Paradox Cave then. Or not. Well, probably just flute up there. Oh, no, I see what he's doing. Kohrek's going back to the Dark Road and using the hook shot to go check out the Village of Outcasts. Professor Renderer making his way through Pod. Picked up his glove and is doing the bow locked side. Kohrek heading over to Catfish now. Professor Renderer doing a death warp with the spikes. And yes, Uncle did say that the boots are in Dark Road, so Catfish is a potential location for that hint. Let's see if we get speed from the Catfish to make up for this long trek. And that's not the red item we were looking for. 20 rupees. So Catfish was nothing. So the logic of the seed was to go fight Agra 1 to get the Moon Pearl, to get the glove from Pod, to get the hook shot from Zora. That is just nasty. Kohrek using the hook shot to go to the west side of Dark World. Has the magic cape, so we should be seeing a check of the bumper ledge, see if it's worth doing or not, and yes, that's where he's going. Avoid the pterodactyl things. Oh, fine, a map check here. We got a pendants on Swamp Palace and Ice Palace. And I did not see what the red crystal was. 10 arrows on bumper ledge. And Thieves Town was the red crystal. Thank you, chat. Alright, Kohrek doing the C-shaped house. We get 50 rupees. Just a heart piece in the chest game. Another heart piece in the brewery. Interestingly, Kohrek does not bother to check Thieves' Town, not even the front of it. Instead, jumping down to do the shovel game, though he won't be able to make his way back since he doesn't have the Titan's Mitt. He's probably focusing on those overworld checks to hope for the boots. Which could be at the digging game. I actually forgot that was a Dark World location when I was thinking about the hint. And 10 arrows. So we have Stumpy and Hype Cave left in Logic. Can't do K45 without the mirror. Professor Renderer dipping out a pod the long way. Appears he's going to go up north to Catfish. Gonna be sorely disappointed. Oh, you're right. K45 is Light World. I always mix that up because of the mirror requirement. In my mind, it's a Dark World location because you can only get to it with the mirror. And yes, indeed, the wrong red item was on Stumpy. Oh, absolutely. No. Definitely going to Hype Cave is a logical play, just a time-consuming one, because in order to get back to Thieves' Town and Skull Wood, so that's only one accessible check, he'd have to go all the way around again. So, Hype Cave is bombs. And the Ice Rod. And a piece of heart. And a piece of heart. And a blue pea. So, hey, Ice Rod at least. That is required for Turtle Rock, so goodies. Uh-oh. Professor Renderer, careful there. You've only got one heart. Well, Graveyard is in the same situation as K45, where you use the mirror to get to it, so it feels like a Dark World, but it's not. Hookshot was on Zora. Professor Ren... There you go. You need to save quit back to Light World here. Or, yeah, there you go. Alright, Kohrek giving us Paradox Cave checks. We have a heart container, and a bottle! Okay, so Sick Kid's in Logic now. More bombs. More money. Arrows. The other green rupee. And a heart container. The density is not paying off. Professor Renderer doing his fake flipper checks. Gets his blueberries from the camper. Kohrek going to do Spiral Cave, the slow, long, arduous Spiral Cave. Because we still haven't found those boots yet. And at this point, for Dark World locations, we are running out. And 50 rupees in Spiral Cave. We're getting our Sick Kid check. And, well, the Sick Kid had quite the bit of money on him, but it's not what we were looking for. Kohrek returning to the Dark World. to go to the village of outcasts the long way around yet again. Because all that's left in logic appears to be the 1 chest of Skull Woods and 3 chests of Thieves Town. Professor Renderer giving us his map check. So let's see where Kohrek goes. If he does the front of Skull Woods, there's only one possible item there, and there's a possibility that's locked in the back as well, because Mothula definitely has an item. And yeah, Kohrek is gonna do the front of Skull Woods in the hopes that the 1 check is here. And it's, oh my goodness, that paid off. That's the hammer. That's the hammer, so let's get out of Skull Woods now. We're good. Wow, okay. With that hammer, that opens up Tower of Hera. And you can now full clear Thieves Town in comfort, knowing that you have access to the big chest. So wow, that was a good move there. Get away, thief. Oh my goodness. And yes, Pod is now full clearable. And Professor Renderer going straight into Skull Woods on his first trip around the West Dark World. So this is gonna help him make up some time on Kohrek right now. Magic powder in the front of Thieves Town. Professor Renderer getting bodied by that Moblin guard. People don't like leaving the Thieves Town big chest because you're right there. You know, you're passing right by it when you're with the hammer, and it's harder to come back and get to it. Swamp Palace left side is hard to get to no matter what your situation is. It's time consuming regardless of circumstances. Whereas Thieves Town big chest, it's only that if you don't have the hammer, it becomes an obnoxious check. And Kohrek having some difficulty in the Thieves Town Hellway. Professor Renderer taking the long way to Kakuga Village's portal. Yeah, it's easy to forget they have flute when they're spending so much time wandering around the Dark World. 20 rupees upstairs of Thieves Town. Professor Renderer returning to Skull Woods? Okay, no, he remembered. Okay, good. So far, the only thing in Thieves Town of note has been the powder, which opens up Magic Bat. Oh, there was a small key, so with that hammer, we get to check the big chest of Thieves Town conveniently, which has gotta feel nice at the very least. And it's the mirror in the big chest of Thieves Town. Very nice find. And that right there is why you wait to find the hammer before you dip into the back of Thieves Town. Alright, Kohrek doing a blind fight. Looks like he's following the script quite nicely. Should be pretty simple unless something goes wrong right here. So far, so good. And boom! Blind goes down. And it was bombs. And so at 51 minutes, 55 seconds, Kohrek gets the second crystal of the seed. Mire Shed is not accessible yet because we still don't have Titan's Mitt. Kohrek heading back north, presumably to do Graveyard Ledge? Still looking for those boots, but at this point, it appears the boots are locked behind the Titan's Mitts. Yeah, there's a 67% chance that the runners will not need Quake. They have two of the medallions already. Yes, but hammer pegs are locked behind the Titan's Mitt. Getting our magic bat check from Kohrek's side, and it is the fire rod. Alright, so the only things we're missing for Turtle Rock completion are the Titan's Mitts and possibly the Quake Medallion if the seed wants to be even more crueler than it already is. And yes, that does make Skull Woods full clearable. Boots' hint was Dark World. And they've already done most of the checks for Dark World, except the Titan's Mitt locked checks. Professor Renderer has his mirror from Thieves Town, just has to beat Blind and he'll be done with that dungeon. While Kohrek is heading up to Skull Woods, take on Mothula. Professor Renderer following his blind script. Yes, Powder was in Thieves Town. And Hammer was in Skull Woods, so a double dip of Skull Woods was required. And with just half a heart left, Professor Renderer defeats Blind by the skin of his teeth. If boots were on Moth, the uncle would have said they were in Skull Woods. If the boots are in a dungeon, the uncle will specify which dungeon, which is far preferable compared to the vagueness of the overall hints. And Kohrek starts up his Mothula fight, while Professor Renderer is doing the magic bat to get his Fire Rod. Ooh, Kohrek using hammer strats, but only has 2.5 hearts left. And I'm not sure he has any safeties in that bottle of his. Switches over to spin attacks instead for safety. Uh-oh, 1.5 hearts. Careful, Kohrek. Half a heart. Oh, he does have a fairy. Okay. He's okay. He has a fairy. Smiths would count as a light rolled check. And Mothula goes down by the skin of Kohrek's teeth. And it's a heart container. So Kohrek finishes up Mothula while Professor Render is on his way to Mothula. The two racers about to high-five. Or not, since Kohrek's using the mirror. Purple chest is locked behind Titan's Mitt. And it's also light roll check, so it wouldn't be... Really, the only thing in Smith's chain that could be the boots is the hammer pegs. Yes, because the guy who opens the chest is in the light roll, so it counts as a light roll check. At least I think that's how the hint goes. Kohrek giving us that K45 check with his shiny new mirror. They already did the dig game, it was 10 arrows. And it's up to the mountain we go. It's going to use that hammer or mirror to get to Tower of Hera. Looks like it's going to be the mirror. And Professor Renderer is doing the Mothula fight, but he's out of magic, so it's going to have to be Master Sword or Hammer Strats. With 3 hearts, and possibly a fairy in a bottle. There's only 2 checks in Tower of Hera. One of them is definitely on Moldor. So whether or not you skip basement depends on... Oh, there's the flippers. So yeah, basement's not a thing today. And the big key's in the basement. And knowing that there's not an item in the big chest, yep, Kohrek looks like he's gonna be doing that Harapot clip. Oh, this is a different setup, okay. Professor Renderer defeats Mothula. Kohrek, you don't have the big key. Kohrek using menu buffering to find the right pixel. The Harapot clip is a trick that was, to my knowledge, discovered back in September or so, and it got legalized for racing a few weeks later. But I could be wrong about that. Kohrek giving up on the Harapot clip is instead taking the tile room and is choosing not to do a coffee break, preferring instead to play dodgeball. Oh, now choosing to do coffee break, he got tired of the dodgeball. Kohrek gets his big key. Professor Renderer is doing the Southern Dark World checks. Doing solo comps because the other comps that signed up were doing other races. Which is all fine. Got a lot of races going on at this league. Everyone doing their part to help out. Make everything enjoyable for the viewers. Moldorm goes down very easily. See what item he had. A heart container, vanilla. And Kohrek gets his 4th crystal at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 40 seconds. Professor Renderer getting his ice rod out of Hype Cave. And yes, it looks like Swamp Palace is the only option right now. Unless, oh, Kohrek's gonna hit Spike Cave right now. And you're right, Pod, Helmasaur, and Green Pendant is an option too. Hookshot was on King Zora. And both, well, Kohrek's done it. I didn't see Professor Renderer do that yet. No, Ice Palace is locked behind the Titan's Mitt. And just 10 arrows on Spike Cave. Wow. Kohrek looks like he's headed to the Swamp Palace, which is always fun. It's a pendant. No, yeah, it is a pendant dungeon. Yes, I believe that's correct. Mire Shed and Hookshot Cave are the only locations left for Dark Road locations for the boots. Oh, and Super Bunny Cave. Unless I'm forgetting a spot, which is entirely possible. For Professor Renderer, Hera is not out of logic. He has the mirror. Kohrek double checking, make sure that yes, indeed, this is a pendant dungeon, which doesn't feel good in the slightest. Professor Renderer, in the meantime, is doing his full clear of Pod, gonna take on Himlisar King to find that item, and then do the green pendant turn-in. Go mode at this point is the Titan's Mitt. Possibly the boots if there's an item on the torch of Desert Palace. And possibly Quake for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, because we don't know what those medallion requirements are. Yeah, so definitely Titan's Mitt, possibly Boots and Quake. For Go mode. Professor Renderer takes Himlisar King down for a measly 10 arrows, but gets the green pendant. Fingers crossed that wasn't bait, like it often is. Don't mind me. 20 rupees in the compass chest of Swamp Palace. Bumper Cave we already checked. It's just a piece of heart, I believe. And Graveyard Ledge is a light roll to check, even though you need the mirror to get to it. Boots could be in Mire Shed. I'm not entirely positive if the Dark World hint includes Dark Death Mountain or not. I know Light World doesn't include Death Mountain. And I missed the green pendant check-in. Was that a bust? Chat says it was a bust. Yeah. Triple bombs. Good. The Titan's Mitts in Swamp Palace! Kohrek got Titan's Mitts! Alright, that is a potential go mode for Kohrek at 1 hour 10 minutes. Pending until we see the Torch of Desert Palace and the medallion requirements from Mire and Turtle Rock. They did check Waterfall, I believe. I know Kohrek did. I believe Renderer did too. Alright, Mire medallion is Ether, so Mire's good. Mire can be full cleared. About to get our Mire Shed check here. And there's the boots! Alright. Alright, so the only question mark is Turtle Rock's medallion requirement. But other than that, we are in a very apparent go mode. pending the TR medallion. Kohrek entering Misery Mire. There are 2 items in here. One is absolutely on Vitreous. Professor Renderer going into Tower of Hera. Gonna get his flippers. Kohrek gets the small key from the pot, but then doesn't get the chest. Gets the chest here, another small key. Yes, flippers were required this seed for Swamp Palace to get the Titan's Mitts. Kohrek, you skipped a chest, buddy. Oh, Professor Renderer gets the Hera pot clip, so that's going to help him make up some time. Another small key on Kohrek's side. Still looking for that big key and possibly the item. Though not really clear if Kohrek would be looking for Quake or the Tempered Sword right now. But definitely needs that big key. And Professor Renderer takes out Moldorm. Okay, Misery Mire. Kohrek going to do the cutscene chest, which he's hoping is the big key. And Professor Renderer doing Spiral Cave. And what's in the chest for cutscene? 20 rupees. Well, there's the one item. Yeah, Kohrek, you skipped a big key chest in that room with the key in the skull. Dude, you could have had the big key like 3 minutes ago. And he's all confused right now. Dude, where are you going? No, you already did that check. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Up into that room. Yes. Now to the right. To the right. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Professor Renderer about to do his disappointing spike cave. Yes, Lumberjack was just a bottle. Oops. Kohrek was going for a Samaria plus boots trick there, but the fireballs hit him. Professor Renderer making his way down to Swamp Palace. There you go, Kohrek. Activate the... You could activate the cape, and then just slash to save your magic, but this works too. Works pretty well. Actually, there we go. Okay. Nice. Now it's just the big eyeball. 8 arrows to the eye, and he... There we go. And that is Kohrek's 5th crystal. Desert Palace and Total Rock are all that's left. And straight to Desert Palace we go. Small key on Desert Palace torch. Which means that Desert Palace was indeed boots locked. So really glad we got those boots out of the mire shed. And a fetch quest. Mushroom is the one item in the front of Skull Woods. Gets the big key, mirrors straight back to the entrance to take on the boss. While Professor Renderer is continuing to make his way through Swamp Palace. Professor Renderer a few moments away from getting his Titan's Mitt. So, if I remember correctly, Kohrek got his Go Mode Titan's Mitt at 1 hour 10 minutes. Professor Renderer about to get his Go Mode Titan's Mitt at about 1 hour 20 minutes and 30 seconds and change. So, Professor Renderer is about 10 minutes behind Kohrek at this point. And there's Titan's Mitts for Professor Renderer. But he's continuing into Swamp Palace. While Kohrek takes on Lanmola's real fast and gets his 6th crystal. So all Kohrek has left is Total Rock. Oh, doing his mushroom turn-in. Probably hoping for a tempered sword. Or Quake, if that's the TR requirement, which we don't know right now. But Kohrek not taking any chances. Ooh, a red bottle, nice. That's convenient. Chat, the seed's been mean enough already. Let's have it not be Quake. Professor Renderer fighting Argus with the hookshot and Master Sword, which is not the funnest of fights. Fighter Sword is, of course, worse, but Master Sword is surprisingly obnoxious with the Dark World bosses. Alright, we're about to find out what the TR medallion is. 67% chance of it being good and a 33% chance of it being bad. Professor Renderer takes down Argus, and it's Ether! We are good. All of chat's wishes for Quake are dispelled. And yes, that does confirm absolutely that Kohrek is in go mode. He needs to finish up Turtle Rock and then go straight to GT. Probably hoping for a Tempered Sword along the way, but he could do... or Silvers. Because Master Sword Silverless Ganon is possible, but, you know, obnoxious. Oops. Thank you, chat. Let's go and fix that up here real fast. And yeah, Professor Render is doing the full clear of Swamp Palace. Professor Renderer may be looking for Quake, he may be looking for a Tempered Sword. He shouldn't be looking for Boots, because the hint was Dark World, and that doesn't include dungeons. Well, I mean, given his sword level, it may not be go mode for him. It depends on how good he is with a Silverless Master Sword Ganon fight. He may really be looking for a Tempered Sword. And that's true, too. He doesn't know the Dark World. He doesn't know the Turtle Rock Medallion, so he may be just banking if it's Quake, he needs to find Quake. Even though he doesn't. But he doesn't know that. Oof, the soldiers here are making Professor Renderer miss his flight. Alright, now Professor Renderer going to the Mire area. Gonna get his boots, and then do Mire itself. Renderer gets his boots and he is officially in go mode. Pending his necessity of doing a Master Sword Silverless Ganon fight. $20 rupees on the checkerboard cave. And Renderer choosing to do Desert Palace before Mire. And Kohrek choosing to do Hammer Strats on Trinix. Ouch. Down to 1 heart on Kohrek's side, but he has the red potion. He's okay. And down goes the icy head, so now it's just down to the main body of Trinix. Professor Renderer about to get his big key and mushroom out of Desert Palace. Oh, nice. Hammer Strats on the main body of Trinix too. Takes him down no problem. And it was just bombs on Trinix. Alright, chat. Time for our favorite guessing game. There are 22 chests in Ganon's tower that could possibly have the big key. Numbers 1 through 22. Get your guesses in where the big key could be. Betting closes when Kohrek enters Ganon's tower. And betting is now closed. And no, the League does not have retro mode as an option on this season. Bombs on the torch was check number 1. Professor Renderer taking on Lanmolas to finish off Desert Palace. Check number 2 in GT is a small key. Number 3, another small key. Number 4, red rupee. Number 5, heart container. Number 6, another red rupee. Number 7, the red mail. Going to see number 8 in just a moment here, while Professor Renderer finishes off Desert Palace and enters Mire. These mummies giving Kohrek all kinds of trouble. Number 8, Quake! There it is. Number 9, blue rupee. Number 10, red rupee. Number 11, vanilla compass. Okay. I think I've got my numbers right so far. So number 12 is coming up at the fire bar room. Oh, nice. Alright, number 12. Bombs. Number 13 is going to be the fire snake room. Alright, let's see if Professor Renderer gets his Godmire. Number 13 was the green potion in GT. And yes, Professor Renderer gets his Godmire. He is heading straight to Vitreous now. Alright, number 14. Bugnet. 15. Big Key. Number 15 was the Big Key. So, let's see if I get this command right. Alright, so congratulations. Really? You get 16 points. And up the gauntlet, Kohrek goes. Kohrek making a pit stop for some fairies and magic refills. And Professor Renderer taking on Vitreous with Magic Cape and constant sword slashing strats. Down goes the small eyeballs, 8 arrows to the big eyeball. And down goes Vitreous. Meyer is complete on Professor Renderer's side. He is an entire Turtle Rock behind Kohrek right now. Kohrek taking on Lamolus. 2 of them didn't stand a chance, but the third one managed to get by. And down he goes. The pain. Very nice one cycle on the Rizro on Kohrek's side. I think I've said Kohrek's name like 4 different ways throughout this seed. Kohrek finds the book and the blue boomerang at the top of GT. One more chest left before he has to do a massive... Oh, I'm sorry. 2 more chests left before he's stuck. There's the silvers coming in clutch. Alright, one more chance for a tempered sword, but the silvers are going to make that master sword fight way easier. Alright, just bombs. So we've got a master sword silvers fight on our hands here. Yeah, so where on earth were those 2 sword upgrades? I mean, we saw the full clear of Swamp Palace on Professor Renderer's side, so... Ice Palace? And we saw a almost full clear of GT, so I'd have to say Ice Palace. And Pyramid Fairy, yes, that's true. Oh, you know what? Pyramid Fairy would count as a Dark Road location for that hint. Boots could have been there, too. I totally forgot about that. And yes, Swift Chain. Wow, Agatu went down so fast, I didn't even see it. Kohrek using a very interesting strat there. I hadn't seen that before. Using the Canister Mario block to cancel the rebound. Very nice. And there he goes, out of Phase 2 into Phase 3. Misses the torch glitch, but that's fine. He's got silvers. Oof, one more shot left. And get your GGs in chat. The big pig is down. And with an official SRO time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 7 seconds, Kohrek finishes in first place. Giving Furry Me will give an interview if we win the team another extra set of points in their scorecard. GG's. And we're going to get Kohrek in here for an interview in just a moment. And we are joined by Kohrek. Congratulations! If it's working. No, it's not working. I can see your thing lighting up, but I don't hear you.
How about now?
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
GG's. So, how'd you like the seed?
Man, I mean, more than anything, I gotta just say, I was a little bit bored by halfway through. It was like, you're walking everywhere, and it was like one piece at a time. It's like go all the way around. Like I was just going through the motions at like the halfway point, to be honest with you.
Right. How'd you feel about that hammer location? I mean, you had done one trip around Dark Road already, then finding the hammer in Skull Woods.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. You know, the hammer up there. I was gonna go before I went to the back at Thieves Town. I was definitely gonna make sure I had like everything else checked because, well, we saw my teammate earlier today. Last location, the mitts going to the back of back at Thieves Town without the hammer. Of course, so did his opponent, but I'm like, yeah, we'll make sure that we're going back there. If we're going back there without the hammer, and it was a good thing too because the mirror was there. So
Right.
But yeah, I think I get to the Dark World. I'm like, okay, there's a pretty good chance if I just do one loop, I'll get those boots, and this seed will start being a little bit more fun.
Right, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, so then after that, it was just pretty linear. Just do one check at a time until you get the mitts. Well, I mean, it wasn't go mode, but I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of this seed. We're gonna just pretend the Quake Medallion doesn't exist and
Right.
our two.
Yeah, which paid off for you. Professor Render, on the other hand, he did continue Swamp Palace and even did Left Side Swamp, but there was nothing after the Titan's mitts.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It would have been nice for him to get a sword out of that or something.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, how did you feel going up the gauntlet? Because you kept checking for like the silvers or tempered sword. Like, were you nervous about having to do a Master Sword Silverlet scan and fight, or was it just more convenience?
Oh no, not at all nervous or anything like that. It was just those chests are right along the way, and
Yeah,
it does. If you find one or the other, it takes off like a minute or even more.
absolutely.
So it just seems worth it. Those four in particular. Like I thought about Hookshot Cape, but I thought that was a little bit excessive. So yeah, I just stuck with the upper GT. We got the silvers. So if you're wondering what happened in Meyer,
Yes, what did happen in Meyer?
so sometimes like this isn't the first time this has happened to me. Like ever since I took up NMG last year at some point. Like when I'm like in go mode, sometimes I start thinking, okay, it's NMG, but that doesn't really work in some of the dungeons.
No.
So I just went to the right and got the key, and when I was going up to get the chest on the bridge, it felt like something was wrong to me, but I couldn't figure it out.
Right.
I was really confused.
You got the NMG mindset stuck. It's like, whoops.
Yeah, I've definitely skipped Rando Room in GT before. I've definitely opened the vanilla big key chest in Turtle Rock before, even though I have big key already. I don't know. Sometimes my brain just turns on NMG style and it turns into something like that.
Yeah, understandable.
But yeah, just want to say thank you for the commentary and the restream, and shout out to my opponent. He looks like he's put in a really good run here. Just coming up on his last crystal. He was saying it was a tough matchup for him, but it looks like he's done really well for himself. It looks like he went back to pod. and
Yes, he
even
did.
just for that swamp. So I mean, you know, if anything that we needed was there, he might have been a lot closer. So
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, unfortunately, the seed just wasn't that kind.
and yeah, thanks again for the restream and the commentary.
And thank you for playing. You played a good. Yeah, it was a rough seed, but you played it very well.
Thank you, and we'll let's watch Professor Render take on GT here.
Yeah, hopefully he can get through Trinex. This is his second attempt now, and he looks like he keeps running out of magic. Yeah, here goes attempt number 3. He's gonna go get some potions. I guess he doesn't know he could talk to the witch's aide there to get a refill. But yeah, Trinex is not a fun fight, especially when you don't have half magic to help mitigate the magic costs. Or the master, or and end with the master sword, which means it takes even longer to kill him. Yeah, it's not a fun fight. No, I've talked to the witch's aide multiple times, and it works every time. At least to my memory. But then I've been talking for an hour and 50 minutes, and my mind might be kind of missing details here. Alright, Professor Renderer making his third trip through Turtle Rock, this time with potions. So Trinex has Doom waiting for him. Professor Renderer getting bodied by the fireballs in this room. Makes it through. Don't use the potion, you need that potion. There we go. Yeah, TR with its pokies and chain jumps. Whoops. And yes, that's true, chat, for Professor Renderer, if he watches this back. If you leave Turtle Rock at the back entrance that's bombable at the end of Laser Bridge, and you mirror out, you can return to Death Mountain and jump down to that portal so you can go straight to the back of TR again. However, that portal gets deleted if you save and quit or use the mirror again. So if there's an instance where you need to go back, the best option is to just, basically die. That preserves the portal. In the event that you go to the Dark World and you don't want to mirror and lose the portal again. Though, of course, that only works if you don't have an Agra 1 fight. In this particular seed, returning to the Dark World will be a problem. But here we go. Try next round 3. Ouch. There goes the potion. No, you need the fire rod. There we go. Ice Head is down. It's not necessarily complex. It's rare enough that the details can throw you off. Especially for me. Like, took me a while to figure out that save and quit deletes the portal. Professor Renderer playing Ring Around the Posy with Trinex here. And down goes Trinex. So that is Professor Renderer's 7th crystal. He is off the GT. Trying to get spin speed or hookshot speed there, but it didn't quite work. And into Ganon's Tower we go. Professor Renderer going to do the Hope Room first. Gets his red mail. Has an opportunity to make his GT trek a little bit faster if he does a full clear of left side first, instead of using Dark Magician strats to do this room and then go right side, like Kohrek did. Stalfos being a jumpy little brat right now. Whoops. Alright, we're going to see GT Big Key for Professor Renderer in T minus 5 seconds. And boom. So, up the gauntlet Professor Renderer goes. Oh, that's a nice route through that. Well, then you get this. No, don't. You could use the boomerang, but okay. Gonna try it again. There we go. Well, silvers were up on the top of the GT tower, so... okay, that's redundant, but... So there's a good chance Renderer finds the silvers. Nice. Okay. I need to do that. I hate this room so much. Ouch. Professor Renderer getting bodied by the mimics and the lasers. And one last laser to the face for good measure. Nice. Nice clear passage through that room. Probably gonna see him make a pit stop at the end of this room here. Yep, and there's the pit stop. And putting that bug net to use to get himself a fairy in a bottle. Oh, and Professor Renderer gets lasered to death. But he has the fairy, so he's good. Oof, this gauntlet is not being... This... Turtle Rock and GT are not being friendly to him right now. Yeah, there you go. Magic powder. Get this Get this bunny thing. There you go. Bug net. Ah! Timing. It's always obnoxious. One Lamola's down. 2 then Mola down. He might be just trying to save his magic, possibly. Though there are, full magic refills higher up, so... Of course the fairy appears and... Yeah, you can... Nice, there we go. Ooh, nice. Single cycle of that Rizro broom on both racers. Very nice. I need to learn that. Professor Renderer making a good showing for anyone who has him on their Fantasy League rosters. Getting to the end of the game to see the Ganon fight and the stats earns fantasy points for anyone participating in that Fantasy League. How many times can I say fantasy? Whereas doing a forfeit gets 0 points. So, Professor Renderer making his fantasy owners proud. Okay, here are the silvers. And there's the bunny. And boom, Renderer gets the silvers, surely breathing a sigh of relief for that. And down goes Mordor, after a very strong effort to knock him off. Alright, Professor Renderer is down to the Aga 2 fight and Ganon, and that is it. And here goes Aga 2. Okay, so we have another race scheduled, so we're going to be cutting this one short right here. If you want to continue watching, you could check it out on Professor Renderer's Twitch channel. That's to see him finish up this seed. Thank you all so much for watching. Stick around for more A Link to the Past Randomizer goodness. We've got another race starting up on Speed Gaming 6. And thank you all for joining in. I'll see you next time.